This is a manufactured crisis. This is a manufactured crisis.
This is a manufactured crisis.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
And if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
For those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Hey guys, Freedom Voice here. I want to do a video on the uprising in Los Angeles. Most of you know I did a video about 4 months ago talking about what's going on in Los Angeles. I want to play a segment from that because it proved to be true. So this is sort of building, and it's going to continue to build. The more that ICE rounds up, people and deport them or whatever the case may be, the more you're going to see more and more people coming out, all in support of those individuals who are being rounded up and being deported.
This is a manufactured crisis.
So this is video from June 2025, just recently, and you can see a lot of looters downtown Los Angeles targeting the Apple Store. I want you to notice something. Notice how they're all wearing hoodies. It's because they're all hired to do this. These are paid looters. That's why they all run at the same time. That's why they all target the same door. That's why they all do the same thing. And you notice most of them don't even have anything in their hand. It's because they're all paid. They're paid looters. And you can see from the Craigslist ad at the top left here, I'm going to expand that and talk about it here in just a minute. But I just wanted to point this out here. This is a manufactured crisis.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Overnight chaos erupting in the streets of Los Angeles as protesters and police clashed. Tensions escalating Sunday as thousands of protesters took to the streets in response to President Donald Trump's extraordinary deployment of the California National Guard. Governor Gavin Newsom saying it was assistance he didn't ask for.
We are here to support local law enforcement, the sheriff's office, LAPD, but they didn't need that support. He made this up. This is a manufactured crisis.
Multiple vehicles set on fire, covered in graffiti condemning ICE. An electric scooter thrown from an overpass, damaging a highway patrol vehicle.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Many hundreds descending on the 101 freeway, blocking traffic in both directions.
CHP, California Highway Patrol deployed smoke. They're moving in, trying to push these protesters out. You can see some projectiles detaining someone there.
The LAPD mobilizing resources and LA's mayor pleading for calm.
Our city does not need to be torn apart.
This is a manufactured crisis.
LA's federal building, hundreds of LAPD officers responding. And in the ensuing clashes, the LAPD says multiple officers were injured when two people on motorcycles tried to crash through that police line. We were right there as it happened.
Just moments ago, there's some projectiles being thrown. Just moments ago, a motorcycle seemed to try to break through the police skirmish line. And now you can hear all those flashbangs going off. Police are trying to push those protesters back, firing those less than lethals at very close range. And you can see those projectiles being thrown over. Now that motorcyclist being hauled in here, looks like he's being arrested.
Police deploying flashbangs. The streets littered with debris and broken glass. At this point, more than 25 demonstrators arrested after failing to disperse. The escalation began Friday when federal immigration authorities began a series of sweeps in greater Los Angeles, arresting more than 100 people. The demonstration's now entering day 4. Hundreds of National Guard troops were deployed on the streets of LA over the weekend. President Trump bypassing California's governor, ordering up to 2,000 guardsmen to deploy across Southern California.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
On Saturday in Paramount, just south of Los Angeles, thick black smoke filling the sky after cars were set on fire. The anger coming after reports of an immigration raid on the community, but Paramount Mayor Peggy Lemon saying there was not a raid. The agents were there staging.
Homeland Security office on the Paramount side, right next to the Home Depot, and they are unloading this huge helicopter with, just boxes and boxes, dozens of boxes of ammunitions, less lethal weaponry. You see these tanks with flammable labels on the side, one after another, an entire shipment, as if they were getting ready for some kind of a major battle.
This is a manufactured crisis.
It's a remarkable sight. In the middle of a suburban street here where they are just unloading all of these weapons, carts full of boxes and flammable weaponry. So you can see that it just made its own parking spot there in the parking lot of that Homeland Security office on the other side of the river where all of this is taking place, and just a few blocks from that Home Depot and right across the freeway from where that car fire was just a few blocks away, and the protesters and Sheriff's Department had been squaring off. But this site here at the Homeland Security office of these federal officials unloading dozens of boxes of weapons and ammunition is just quite a...
This is a manufactured crisis.
Something I really don't recall ever seeing here. Guys, back to you.
All right, I want to show you why I believe this is a manufactured crisis. And that is the reason why I continue to play that clip from Gavin Newsom, because it's true.
This is a manufactured crisis.
This Home Depot, I live not far from. You can see National Guards and, troops and whatnot are kind of staged across the street. But you can also see the pallet of bricks that were conveniently left by Home Depot in the parking lot. You know, those bricks come from Home Depot and they cost a lot of money. It tells me that Home Depot as well as local government are also involved.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Indeed, this is a manufactured crisis. You can see the troops that are staged across the street as looters make preparations to come over. Also, I wanted to point out the fact that bags of rocks, that's right, bags of rocks were conveniently left in strategic locations for the looters or the paid protesters. I want to show you that Craigslist ad. This is courtesy of Tracy Derwin. But the Craigslist ad talks about how they're looking for special people in the city. And they're paying them between $6,000 and $12,000 per week.
This is a manufactured crisis.
And notice what it says in this Craigslist ad. It says, we're forming a select team of the toughest dudes in the area. This unit will be activated only when the situation demands it, but you get paid every week no matter what. High pressure, high risk, no room for hesitation. We need individuals who do not break, panic, or fold under stress and are basically all-around type dudes. Physical strength, speed, conditioning is important, but mental toughness is everything. You can see that this Craigslist ad describes exactly what's happening in Los Angeles with the looters, again, being paid $6,000 to $12,000 a week. No wonder they're not stealing anything when they go inside these stores. But in addition to that, guys, they were handing out special tactical headgear.
Preparations are underway for what could be a long night right now.
Interesting to see that. Christina Gonzalez was saying that this is not an organized rally like we saw earlier in the day where you have the different organizations that are backing some of these protests. This is more, she said, organic, and maybe that's what you're seeing there.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Those boxes.
Are those masks of some sort? Are those gas masks?
That doesn't look like food.
Yeah, those are.
Looks like masks.
Yeah, no, those are masks. Yeah, so people are prepping for some sort of altercation with police as we speak.
Yeah, because, this is a different scene than what.
It's an intersection, like I.
Yeah, I mean.
I just want to pop in here, guys, and point out the fact that notice how they're all wearing, again, hoodies as well as scarves around their mouth. It's as though they're trying to camouflage or hide any identity. It's because they're all getting paid $6,000 to $12,000 to do this.
At this intersection, like I said, there's no local police. We've been seeing the burnouts.
A very different scene. And are those hats that you wear that are more like helmets? I mean, this is a worrying sight. I mean, Christina's site, which is like very close by, she was describing a festive atmosphere, and it looked like a lot of folks, including a lot of older folks, who were there for the right reasons.
This guy's tagging the sidewalk, right?
You know, this is troublemakers. You probably don't put on a mask unless you have a plan of not wanting somebody to see your face.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Concerning.
Well, the woman who was handing out the masks, you see her quite clearly there in that beige T-shirt. She's not covering her face at all. So I would love to hear from her as to what this is about. Alex, you do bring up the fact that this could be very concerning. It is a Monday and not the weekend, so you're wondering how many people are wanting to stick around through the evening. Matthew.
You know, indeed, this is a manufactured crisis. I just want to kind of zoom in and show you that headgear that they're handing out. That headgear I was able to find online for sale. And this is indeed a manufactured crisis.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Notice that headgear. It's called a bionic shield. Bionic shield. And I want to show you what I was able to find online. Now, keep in mind, this was being handed out free. Okay? Bionic shield being handed out free. Everybody wearing hoodies and scarves around their mouth. This is indeed a manufactured crisis. I want to show you that bionic shield and where it's listed online. You can see it's listed as the UVEX bionic face shield. It's a full frame design totally to protect the head and neck from chemical splashes as well as flying debris. It comes from the Uline website and it's listed at right at $70 a piece. So it's quite expensive, but it's designed to protect the face from splashes or flying debris. Now, guys, I want to show you a clip from the Home Depot and how looters were attacking immigration's officers at the Home Depot.
This is a manufactured crisis.
Hey, what happened to you, bro? They hit me with a rubber bullet. They shot you in the head? You all right?
This is a manufactured crisis.
Now, again, some of you might be asking, how is it that this is able to take place? You know, how is it that they were able to destroy buildings like this and throw rocks and bricks and all types of flying debris at immigration's officers and nobody do anything, even with National Guards present? By the way, the guy that was apparently driving the truck when they were handing out the bionic shields is being arrested. He's being arrested here. You can see him in the back of the police car. This is a picture of his face, you know, when he was driving the truck. And this is also a picture of him in the backseat of the police cruiser. So, you know, again, this is the guy that was driving the truck. The people that were handing out the bionic shield. This is the listing of the bionic shield on the website. This Psalms is very important, and I think it plays definitely in the narrative of what I'm sharing here as it relates to Civil War. It says, I have seen violence and strife in the city. David here is writing, talking about the situation that's going to happen, I believe, in the last days. For I have seen violence and strife in the cities. Day and night they go about upon the walls thereof. Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her streets. So here the Bible says there's going to come a point in time where violence and strife is going to be taking place day and night in the cities, in the major cities. And that tells me that this is suggesting or telling us that in the times that we're living in, the end times, we're going to see a civil war.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
So you had this movie that came out just last year, 2024, entitled Civil War. Now, in the movie, I didn't see the movie, but I did see the trailer, and I know a little bit about what happened based on what I've researched online. In the movie is this scene here, where this man who represents the military forces of the United States of America is questioning these individuals who appear to be from another country. Again, I didn't see the movie, and I don't know enough about it to be able to talk about it, but it seems to suggest that there's a civil war that's going on in America, and there are two states rather, that have come together, California and Texas. And it seems as though armed forces are fighting on behalf of these two states. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is, where is this headed? Again, problem, reaction, solution. You've got a problem, okay? They've identified the problem is, obviously, the president mentioned the need to address the illegal immigrations problem. But you've got a reaction that was sort of created. This reaction is an emotional reaction, just like what you just saw. And this reaction is going to lead to ultimately a civil war, which is going to in turn lead to the loss of more freedoms. And that is what I kind of want to emphasize. That's kind of the reason why I'm doing this. I want to go ahead and play this clip from this movie. I hope I don't get a copyright strike. I'm going to try this and see if it works. I'm going to play this clip now.
I'm just saying.
Just saying, just what?
Well, you're American, okay?
Okay. What kind of American are you? Central American? South American? What?
Florida.
Florida. Central.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. I don't want to play anymore. This gets very violent, and I don't believe in violence, nor do I want to show or promote violence on my channel. But the point I'm making is that things are becoming violent in the streets. Things are becoming violent in the cities. We've been told, Scripture tells us, that we're going to see violence and strife in the cities in the last days. And I believe that based on problem, reaction, solution, I believe that the problem that we're seeing, or the reaction, I'll say, to the problem that we're seeing in America, especially in California, Texas, Arizona, places like that, I believe the reaction is sort of manufactured to the point to where it's going to bring about a solution. Ultimately, through the Civil War, it's going to bring about more loss of freedoms. Now, I can prove this in Scripture. I can prove it in the Bible. And I'm going to be doing that on this channel. I'm going to continue to post videos on this channel on this very subject, showing that prophecy tells us that in the last days, we're going to see violence and strife in the cities. And not only that, we're going to see incredible loss of freedom to the point to where were it not for the second coming of Christ, every man, woman, boy, and child will be enslaved.
There is no going back to normal.